Missed one thing, and that probably the team that had the best record, and I haven't scoured all the records, but of all the years, but this I would think has probably had the greatest record in Hammonton High School history. Not only a great team, but one of the great players, if not the greatest girl basketball player in history. And so the Fishy and her teammates are going to tell us the story, but their record was 31-1, 31 wins, 1 loss. And they had a 21, Fishy will tell you all about it, but they had a 21 game winning streak over a period of 2 years. So I want to tell you a little more about Fishy, but we're going to let her start. And so with this, I want to introduce the captain and leader of that team was Ada Fishy Dimeo, Dot Silipina Cassetta, and on the left, Grace Tootsie Herrera Berger. So with that, take it away, Fishy.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank the Historian Society for having us here.
Can everybody
Bill
hear?
for putting up with us.
Can everybody hear?
No.
Louder.
Louder.
You better come over here.
You know.
I don't want to miss. I don't want to
Now
miss.
come back. I want to hear her.
I did a lot of writing here, so I'm going to read it to you. I want to thank you, Bill, for having us and the Historian Society. And Ann Evans, I'm going to thank her for our class of 49 had money left over in our class reunion. And what Ann did, we voted on it that night. We said that we were going to put it in the Hammonton education program. But what Ann did, and we didn't know about it, she bought a leaf in the high school, posted on the wall. We have a big, big blueberry bush. I mean huge, and it's beautiful. And everybody has a leaf, and you buy into it. So what Ann did, she bought one for our team, the girls basketball team of 49. And I want to thank Ann for it because we didn't know she was doing it.
And that was the first leaf, too.
What's that?
That was the first.
Oh, it was the first leaf? Oh, boy. Okay. Thank you, Ann. And she was a classmate of ours also. And she was manager of our HHS team, that we'll talk about in a little while. Okay, I'm going to talk about my coach first because of all the coaches, I believe, she probably was the best. Because here's what she did. She was our gym teacher, she was our hockey coach, and our basketball coach. She did it all. When we came into hockey season, we were well into shape because she made us run, our butts off. And then Paige and Lauren probably could tell you. We were in shape for basketball, believe me. Jean Ritchie, Margaret Vitale, Dottie, and myself, we played on a varsity hockey team. So when basketball came around, we were really ready. And our legs ached in hockey, but they didn't ache in basketball because we were really in shape. Okay. Our practices were hard, and she had to teach us the whole game because we didn't play basketball until we were freshmen. Today they have school teams in 4th grade and also a town team, the Bulldogs, starting very young. We had drills on passing the ball near our chest, remember? Pass the ball this way, swift. And the bounce pass, make layups, shooting from the foul line, baseline. She was very hard on foul shooting. She made us shoot until our arms ached, until we made a certain amount. She said, we can win a game on the foul line. We only had one gym, so we practiced after school, sharing time with the boys. When we had a tough game, she took us out in the study hall and played against the boys. That was a rough, but made us much better. Also, she would say, don't take a dribble, pass the ball quickly, and don't put the ball on the floor. She taught us different plays, and if I recall, we used numbers for the plays in the game that she wanted. She was very high on winning. Our rules were, we played half court, we had 3 forwards, and we had 3 guards, on half court. Only forwards could shoot, only 1 dribble, same size ball as the boys. Today they have a smaller ball. No three-point shots. I don't care where you shot from. If you shot from half court, it was only counted for 2 points. Let's see. My basketball and the love of the game began around 1944 in my backyard down on the farm. Brother Mike put a rim on a tree, and him and I would shoot for hours. We played one-on-one and bounced the ball on dirt. We had no blacktop. We had no cement. My favorite shot was a one-hander on the run, so I only needed one dribble, and I got very far with that. Before high school, I would go out to the tree and rim and practice different shots all by myself. I did this almost every day. Let's see, when weather was permitting, I just loved to shoot. Our small gym was an asset for having one dribble. You could go very far, especially making layups. One-hand shots were also no problem in our small gym. When we went to a large gym, it took maybe 8 minutes, which was 1/4, to adjust to how far you could take your shots. You know, our gym was small, so I could shoot from half court, but I couldn't do that at, say, Overbrook Regional. Couldn't do that. So it took a little while to adjust. Okay, and when we were juniors in 1948, Coach Strauss had her only undefeated team. She had a couple years with 1 or 2 losses, but she never had one undefeated. Now comes our 1949, and we were mostly seniors. We found out we were going to join the South Jersey League playing teams as Milan. We played Milan, Millville, Pleasantville, and Bridgeton in the league. And we also played St. Joe and also our alumni. We didn't have too many games. Today they might have 24. We had 14. But that was alumni in St. Joe. We only had 4 teams in the league. Okay. Now the juniors on our team were Joan Beret, a 6-foot guard, but she was very strong and played with great intensity. Margaret Battaglia, another 6-foot guard, was very good also. And Joan Beret, under Coach Strauss, played varsity basketball as a freshman, the only player under her to ever play that young. Our senior guard was Grace Tootsie Berger, not too tall, but played with great strength and was very tough. She told Coach Strauss, "I can't shoot, so I want to play guard," and play she did with greatness. Dottie Silipina Cassetta could play guard and forward. When she played guard, she played with great toughness. Playing forward, she made layups and baseline shots. She was a good scorer and passer. Jean Ritchie made 2-hand shots above her head and was a good scorer and passer. She was about 5'9", and Shirley Thurston was 5'9" also, and she was a good passer and scorer. And I was the captain of the team and shot from everywhere on the court, and I mean everywhere. I loved the one-hand shot off the dribble. It was hard to defend. My weakness was foul shooting. I loved to make layups and could hit the open girl onto the basket. We went into the 1949 season with 18 straight wins. It was broken in Bridgeton at 21 games and was the only loss in 2 years. Our bus rides were full of fun and games until our loss at Bridgeton. And then coming home from that game, the bus was very quiet and tears were falling. Harry Scully was our bus driver and also wrote our games for the Hammonton News and the Press. And also Joe Jumpacaro wrote our games for the Milan News, which was big. He had a lot of articles in the Milan News, believe it or not. Okay. Harry Scully was at every game, home and away. He drove us to the away games, but he was also at the home games. The loss at Bridgeton really woke us up to practice harder, and practice we did. Bridgeton had a court looked like a swimming pool, but that was no excuse. I couldn't make a shot that day, and it was very frustrating. But work harder we did. We lost by 16 points that day. That was a disgrace, really. Now comes our home game. Now comes our home game against Bridgeton, and we had a gym full of fans. They all came out. We had to win to get into the playoffs. When we did, it was a tough game. Our guards did a good job getting us the ball, and we delivered, winning by 8 points. I had 26 points, but Dottie had 15 big points, and that I will never forget. Thank you, Dottie. That was great. I needed help that day. They were killing me. You know what hurt though? You know when you shoot, you know if it's going in. You really do. When it leaves your hand, you know if it's going in. And what you had to do, I mean, they had tall guards, and they had some Japanese girls. They worked at the plant, you know, up in Bristol. Yeah, right,
Yes.
Seabrook. So they were pretty quick. But what you had to do, when you knew you were going to miss the shot, you had to go get that ball and put it back up. And that's what I did, and that's what we did, because that game was tough, believe me. I can still, phew. I'm playing it, I guess. Phew. I'm sweating thinking about it. Okay. All right, where am I at? Let me find myself here. Okay. Okay. Now comes the championship game, played at Vineland High School. See, Bridgeton, that was their only loss to us. And in turn, that was, you know, vice versa. We only lost to each other. So now we have to play each other in Vineland High School at a neutral gym. Okay. So a big crowd came from Hammonton. I mean, they were all there because people like a winning team. You know that. The gym was full of fans. The Bridgeton coach told me, oh, this is funny. The Bridgeton told me before the game, maybe I should lock you in the classroom. She said, that's the only way I can win. I'm going to lock you in the classroom. She was teasing me, you know. So Bridgeton coach put her best, listen to this, she put her best and biggest forward to guard me for this game. She put her best forward to guard me. She got in foul trouble early, the girl. My shots fell from everywhere on the court. We won by 20 points and I finished with 35 points. I'm sweating here. I think I'm playing the game. I was thrilled for Coach Strauss because she was retired and going to Indiana. The next day, our coach presented us with the South Jersey trophy, and Mr. Yale took the team picture. The only thing about the trophy was this. There was a catch to it. You had to win it 3 years to keep it, and then we never won it again, so we lost it. We lost the trophy. Okay, that night, Alice Herrera, Tootsie's mom, held a going-away party for our coach at her house. It was very nice of Mrs. Herrera, who, by the way, was our most loyal fan. She came to every game. I want to read something about her. This you couldn't talk because it was in the paper. Here's what happened this day. This was in Hammonton. We were playing Pleasantville. We had finished our game. The varsity was over. This was a JV game. So I'm there, and Mrs. Herrera tells this one to the press. Listen. During the girls' basketball game the other day with Pleasantville, the Hammonton Lassies swamped them by an overwhelming score. We had already won the varsity game. Now, the girls were watching a JV game, and especially a particular Pleasantville junior varsity forward who was shooting quite frequently. Anna Dimeo was sitting close by, and she said, "You must think she's something like me, don't you? But she takes too many shots." You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Where am I at now? I'm in the party. I'm in Mrs. Herrera's house. Our team presented the coach with a beautiful handbag, and a couple weeks later, we received a letter from Coach Strauss. First, she sent the letter to the forwards. I just found that out in Tootsie's letter. And I'm going to read my letter from the coach and then Tootsie's letter from the coach. I kept this letter even though it is falling apart, and I mean falling apart. But I had a copy of it, so. And Tootsie's is beautiful. Hers is not falling apart. I'll read mine first. Dear Anna Dimeo, 2 weeks ago, and we played our championship game. What a day, I suppose. All have quieted down in high school, but not for me. I'm still playing that game over by myself. I talked Mr. Strauss Green until he's tired of hearing me. He knows everyone on the team by now and what they are especially good at. Gosh, what I wouldn't give for 1/2 hour with you girls when we could hash the game all over again. This Sunday I'm having a company, and it will give me a chance to brag about you girls that I will love. Anna, your basketball certainly has been super. these past 2 years, and I've been very proud to have you on my basketball squad. We have been fortunate to have such a good player. I'm just sorry you are graduating, sorry you're having another year with Hammonton, and hope you will get on some kind of town team or a club so you can continue your basketball. What do you do with yourself after school now that hockey and basketball's over? It's a letdown. I know with all I have to do, I miss you people. Oh, I miss you people already. And that's from my coach. Now I will read Tootsie Berger's letter from the coach. Dear Grace, I've been waiting to write all of you girls since I've been here and get them all off the same time, but things have interfered. I've written all the forwards. Now for you guards, but first, how's the foot and the wrist? But what happened here with Tootsie, when we were in the championship game, she was injured. Did you go to Newcomb? You had to go to the hospital. And guess who came in as a guard? Right there. And played brilliantly, right here. She took her place. She was really a forward, but she played guard sometimes. And she really did a good job. We didn't have any pressure in that game, I'll tell you why. Because we were ahead so much, it didn't matter. And you know, when you're ahead of a basketball game, your shots will fall. But when you get behind, and you'll see a difference. Because now you're tense and you're trying really hard, and they just won't go in. But you get ahead, and you're in good shape. Well, Gracie, you gave up a lot for your basketball, and I hope you have never regretted it. You have been a grand girl to have on the team. Your sincerity, your good sportsmanship, your loyalty, and fine playing have been an inspiration. Thanks heaps for everything you gave to your team. You girls have all been fine, and because you were big enough to forget petty things, you came through champions. It takes more than just playing good to make a winning team. It takes real cooperation and real bigness on the part of all of you. I know you all must be very proud of yourselves, and you deserve all the praise and glory you get. And really, I don't believe anyone got any more kicks out of the basketball season than your mother and dad. They are swell people, Grace, and I hope you realize it. Few young people have parents that take time for their children that your folks did. You are fortunate. What are you doing now that basketball is over? Dreaming about going to Washington? That's our Washington trip. Won't you have fun? You have such a nice class, and I hope you have grand weather all the time you're there. Go down the roller coaster once from me. And as I say, truly yours, Ethel Strauss. That's from Tootsie Berger. Now, we did live up to, we did go up and we played on the Peachhead team. She told us to go play basketball, so we did. We went on a couple more years. We won a couple more years. Let me see here. We got into Harry Scully was our coach. We were called the Peachheads. In the season of 49 to 50, we played for the Peachheads. Some games were played boys' rules. Listen to this. We had to play boys' rules a couple times because the opponent played boys' rules. And it was tough because we weren't used to going up and down the court. We were used to half court. So that was kind of tough. But in the season of 50 to 51, we played for the Hammonton team, also called the Peachheads. And let's see, Dottie, Tootsie, Jean, Margaret, and myself were the players from our high school team. Now we played girls' rules on this tournament, which was better, you know, because boys' rules were tough for us because we weren't used to it, you know. That year we won we had a 3-game series, like, I don't know if you call it series, I think you call it baseball series, but we had to play like it probably was 6 teams or whatever, and we wound up playing Millville. To make a long story short, we had to beat everybody. We were going to the championship game with Millville that day. And we won the gold medal basketball tournament. In fact, Dottie's got medals there to prove that. We won 64-31 over Millville. I was named outstanding player in the tournament, averaging 30 points a game. And the all-tournament team was me, Tootsie, and Margaret Patali. And Jean Ritchie was voted the most sportsmanlike. And in 1992, I was inducted into Hammonton's Hall of Fame. And in 1994, our 1949 team was inducted in the Hall of Fame. So now what I'd like to say is I'm looking forward to see the grandchildren play for Hammonton High School. I have Paige here tonight. She's a freshman. She's playing hockey, and she will play basketball. She will play basketball. And Lauren's there, and Lauren's going to play basketball right alongside of her, Lauren. That's Tootsie's granddaughter. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I thank you all. And if there's any questions, feel free to ask me.
So are there any questions from the floor?
Bill, I want to know why she wasn't good on the foul line.
Well, you know what?
Well, you know what I later found out?
Wow.
Close. That was too close.
No. I should have shot one hand foul shots instead of two, because I always shot one hand. And I realize now that I made a mistake. After 60 years, I realize.
But you know, I've been looking through some of the papers and the stats, and if I'm not wrong, that she shot over 50% foul line. So that might be not good, according to her thoughts about how she could be. But that was darn good.
That had to do with the coach. She pulled them even out of study periods, I remember.
Oh man, she was tough.
And they had to get percentages. She kept percentages for Eric.
Yep.
Okay, how many did you make today? And I mean, they
The only
were-
thing-
had to shoot until our arms hurt.
Yep.
To we missed.
Yep.
So they got the percentages.
She was tough. She was tough.
She was.
Dottie, you want to show you what you brought?
Oh, no, look, people can.
It's
Jim C. And.
So they can show it. Yes.
Yeah, there were our letters, you know. We didn't. I don't know what they have today.
High school sweater with a
I wanted
letter.
to also say one more thing. At halftime in our games, we got orange slices. Today they get Gatorade, they get bottled water. We were not allowed to drink water at all. Right? Just orange slices. Even in the hockey game, we couldn't have water or Gatorade. Well, I don't think they had Gatorade. They didn't even have it.
To give you I like to go over with you some of the stats, which are absolutely fantastic. I mean, this team was so good. I'm just some of the typical scores of the senior year. And 61-18, 40-27, 78-20, 49-31, 85-18. And then if you look...
Poor St. Joe.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
We got our scores up at St. Joe.
And then if you look at the total stats that are even more unbelievable, that in the senior year, the Hammonton team scored 747 points. The next closest was Pleasantville with 232. And here you go. That the leading scorer was, of course, Fishy with 338 points. Her teammates, Jean Ritchie, had 170. Dottie had 116. And Shirley Thurston had 112. With the exception of two others that were over 100, the next highest in the whole league was 83. So we went from that is unbelievable to me. And so going through some of the other write-ups that this is I don't know what paper it is. It could be the Vina paper, and they speak that about the wonder girl of the court, Anna Fishy Dimeo. And then incredible but true. In 13 games this season, Anna, the warrior girl of HHS girls basketball team, has hit for a grand total of 303 points with an average of 23 plus per game. She is without a doubt the highest scoring machine in South Jersey, including boy and girl scholastic players and also independent basketball players. Her record-breaking 303 points were made on 134 field goals and 35 out of 65 foul tries. Over 50%, just what I thought. So anyway, any other questions?
But just think, she was never offered a scholarship. Today, with the girls,
For sure. Yes. So
Anna, I want to know, how did you get the nickname Fishy?
Well, I had an aunt, Rose, that, I don't care who you were on our street, we all had a nickname. I really don't know because I didn't swim. In basketball, they said because it was slippery.
Slippery, yeah.
But, I don't know. I mean, she gave them all names.
Maybe you
Booty
don't
was
need-
Booty because my mother knitted booties. I could see that, you know. And Waff, I don't know where that came from.
Waffle.
We all had a nickname. We all had a nickname. I can't answer it. I can't answer it.
Well, one of the reasons that, as far as the boys were given, because that there were, if you got the Gazette, the article on Middle Road, is that there were so many, in honor to the fathers and grandfathers, the boys were given the same name, so nicknames came in handy. And most people, some of them don't even know the real name. And also going through some of this, some of the stuff here that I looked through, that it mentions in Fred playing one of the star football players, I believe, and I know you played basketball. I remember seeing you play basketball, and I know Ralph in '53 played football, and of course son Bill is a HHS also Hall of Famer, and so who knows, we might go down to the next generation. We might have the next generation Hall of Famers sitting here tonight. Is there any more questions, thoughts, anything to offer? Tootsie, anything? Okay, got it.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I think Fishy covers just about everything.
All right, okay.
And Boopy was a basketball player too.
Oh yeah, I know, Whoopi was on the, we have honored he and that
He and
team.
Fred. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't here when you did that.
Yeah. So he had his night in the sun.
Oh, he
so.
did have some.
Right. Okay.
That's all that's left of the 49 was 3?
Well, what? One's in California, one's in Florida, and 3 deceased.
Yeah, there was 8
That's all.
There was a,
on the varsity. Mm-hmm.
who were the other girls?
One thing I asked Fishy, when did they change the girls' rules? Anybody know?
No, I can't answer.
When did they change them?
I can't answer. They started with a roving choir and then they went into the boys. I don't know what year it was.
Okay.
Did you wear sneakers?
Yeah. My sneakers do. High heels.
Did you have girl referees?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I had a favorite one, Schumacher. I can remember her name, Malthorpe, Mary Malthorpe. I can remember the referee's name.
Well, I think I read that one of the Bridgeton game, which was to determine the winner, the rubber game, they brought in neutral officials from Philadelphia. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Big time.
She was in the audience. She couldn't write.
Okay, is there anybody else? Any other thoughts? Anybody want to offer anything? Okay. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Fishy draws a crowd. I mean, thank you very much, Fishy.